average angler video. There's my little doggy Sprocket. He's come fishing with me today on an open match here at Plantation. I've drawn peg 38, which is out on a point. Just up here in the tree, there's our resident heron. He comes and tries to take your fish off the hook if you let him. So you've got to watch him. He'll dive out of the tree and come and get you out. You probably can't see, but over here we've got the ship fishing. I've got quite a few on it today, but I've got this nice little bait to my right, which I haven't pegged because this doesn't fish very well, but I've got it all to myself. And then this peg here, they don't put in because there's a bit cut off, so I've got all this water here to draw fish from. I feel like I've got plenty of water to draw fish from. It's a silverfish only match. Float only, no feeders or anything, so they'll all be fishing the pole. It's quite flat now, but I think the wind's going to get up later. Maybe cause some issues if you wanted to try and fish regular. There's some pre-mixed ready to go. That's all going to go in at the start on one line. That's for me roach. And I'm going to fish pellet to try and catch the skimmers. That's how we're going to start. Experimenting with some larger expanders today because the weather's been mild and the fish have been feeding up here. So, okay, catch you in a bit. Right guys, now we're an hour in and I've got 4 or 5 skimmers, not very big ones, a couple of really tiny little fish that I've not counted, all come over my pellet line. What I did at the all in when I've got my pellet line, which I just topple in the pot as I go, and I've potted in another pellet line which I've fed more aggressively with bigger pellets, and I hope to catch some bigger fish over that later, maybe or maybe not. And then I'll put me 2 balls of ground bait, Tom Thick ground bait and Sonia Baits roach ground bait mixed together, and a load of casters put in, and just put 2 balls of that in a bit shorter to see if I can catch some roach shorter, sort of 10 metres and slightly to the left. So we'll catch anything that goes over that later. But so I fed this at the start, and it took a while for me to get a bite, and then I had two skimmers over it, bumped one. It went quiet, so I topped it up, and I've had another couple. It's gone quiet again. I've just topped it up, and I've just had one just before I turned the camera on. So it's seeming like I've got to top it up every couple of fish. But at the moment it's hard to know for sure. I've got a lot of very, very small fish in the swim which are being pests as well. There's a hooked one here. This is a small one by the feel of it. Can't tell until you get close. Just say sometimes it just don't fight, but this is not pulling out much elastic, so it's a small. Oh, he's got a little bit bigger. Maybe he's a skimmer. He's decent if he's a roach. He's small. Yeah, he's all right. I'll take that stamp. That's the sort of best sort of stamp I've had so far. Other people are catching much bigger ones. I don't know how, but yeah. So that's what I'm catching at the moment. Catching them on the 2mm micro. So that puts me on maybe 7 skimmers now, 6 or 7, something like that. Not counting them exactly. And every time I ship out, I'm just pinging some casters over me Tom Thick ground bait line. I'm calling it the Tom Thick ground bait line just so you know what line I'm talking about. Everyone's catching steady, not far behind. I feel like the couple of guys that I can see might just have had better fish than me. They're probably feeding it more aggressively and getting those better fish in, but they're not getting loads of bites. So my experience here is if you feed it aggressively too early, you can end up just not being able to get a bite over it after a while. I'm just going to gently play my way in with this pellet approach and just see how we go. I'm going to start topping up a little bit more quickly now. So as soon as I feel happy that as soon as I feel happy that I might be able to get away with topping up, then I will. As soon as I feel like I've not had a bite as quickly as I should, because when they're there, the bites are quite quick. And I'm just trying to find the right amount of feed to make that happen without blowing the swim up. I'm an hour in now, and I'm like catching, but I'm not really leading or dominating the area, so I feel like I need to do something a little bit better. I see people catching nice skimmers all over the shop. You can only catch what's in front of you, so you've got to be careful that, you know, they might not be there on my swim. Just don't know, do you? That's where we are, 6 or 7 skimmers, an hour in. There's Ship to my left, he's caught a few. He's probably had better fish than me as well. The heron has tried to have a little look and hasn't really managed to pester anybody just yet, but he's thinking about how he can steal everybody's fish off their hooks, because that's what he does. He's not bothered me yet. Catch you in a bit. Right, guys, it's 1:45, so if we started at 20 past 10, that's 20 past 11, 20 past 12, so 2.5 hours in. I think it's a 6-hour match today, so not quite halfway through. Just had the second of 2 nice skimmers that well, I just had a skimmer and I had another bite for ages. Just had a nice skimmer, and then just before, the fish I had before that was also a nice skimmer, like over a pound. She's nice. But I've lost what I would guess was 4 or 5 of those big skimmers like that. And so I've changed my hook length to a slightly bigger hook. I've gone from a 20 up to an 18. And I've put loads and loads of pole lube onto my pole elastic, even though I don't think that's what it was, because I've never had problems with 5 before. 5 pressed and slipped. And just had them 2 out this time instead of losing them, so obviously one of them things has changed, but I've just tried to fix everything that I can. And I'm still behind, because those lost fish cost me probably £5 or £6 fish there lost. Their Ships, I think Des is winning the match quite comfortably at the minute. The guys to my right on what I would call the best pegs on the lake, what I think are the best pegs on the lake, are doing well as well. The rest of us are struggling on. The wind's just dropped a little bit. It was really windy, not really windy, like I could hold the pole, but like a lot more ripple, and it was making it very hard for me to see the float. The sun's just sort of swinging around in front of me, so I had to put on, I think I'm the only person on the lake with my sunglasses on, because I've got the sun straight in my face. Not that that's a bad thing today, it's cold anyway, so that bit of heat's nice. Still fish blowing over me. I've topped up my ground bait line to my left with a single ball and a load of casters, and that's still blowing, so that's good. I haven't put any more on my big pellet, on my bigger pellets, trying to catch the bigger skimmers, because I've caught a couple of bigger skimmers on this line now, so I feel like I can just stick with this. They'll come to this, and I can save me big pellets for short, because I've got a couple of lines either side of me, very short. So when I was up here yesterday, I watched a guy catching in the margins, and he was trying to catch carp, but he kept hooking like £2.5 bream. So if I'm struggling later on and I feel like I've got to play catch up, I could try that. So yeah, not done too much filming so far. A couple of hours in. Like I said, we've got 3 hours. Sorry, it's a 6-hour match, and I'm expecting, touch wood, that the fishing will get better as the match progresses, and so there'll be more to view. As you can see, I've been sitting here the whole time and not had an indication yet, just literally. Indications are few and far between at the moment. When they come, they're decent fish at the moment, so just sticking with it. The heron's not caused me any problems yet. He has had a quick look at a couple of people. He almost he flew over Des, but Des had already got the fish in before he got there, and he was hovering over the guy to my right's pole, trying to see if he could see the fish that was on there. He comes and tries to take off. So far, he has been unsuccessful. The sun is right now around in front of me, glistening. The water's all glistening right where I've been fishing. Just at a time when I feel like things are starting to go in my favour, which is typical. So I don't know if it doesn't get any brighter than this, if it stays cloudy like it is now, my sunglasses are doing a good enough job of protecting me, but if it comes out full force I won't be able to look into it, I don't think. I'll have to drop onto my ground bait line or start a new pellet line. Right, it's an hour since I last spoke. It's 1:45 now. And the sun has moved around in front of me. Made it very hard for me to fish straight in front of me. I was catching a few nice fish. So I put a bit of bait in, topped it up. Still feeding this line here to my left, so that's what I'm doing now, just in case. I've only had one skimmer over that all day, but there are fish there. So, as I say, where I was fishing out at 14 minutes in front of me, I haven't been catching. Oh, I haven't been able to fish because the sun was there. The sun's just coming off it now, so I might have to go on in the next sort of 20 minutes or so. But so what I've done is I've swung all the way around to my right and started a new pellet line. Very awkward to fish at 16 metres because I can't get the pole under me. I'm not sure if the tripod cam's picking it up or not. So I fished out to my right, back towards I think that's peg 36. 14 metres. I've just fed it the same as I've been feeding the one straight out in front of me, and so far I've had 4 skimmers on it. The bites are pretty quick if they're there, and the stamp of the skimmers has been quite good. It's been worth the effort of hanging this, if struggling around with this float, this pole, sorry. So the wind's even worse in this position because I'm sort of more 90 degrees, but my visibility is great because it's dark water. So I can still see my nice red float, even if it's choppy like it is now. You might be picking up a bit of wind noise, sorry about that. Still got a bait on because I normally had a bite by now. The curse of the camera. Yeah, so there must just be some skimmers sitting here because I've had one straight away first put, and I've had one like almost every time I've gone round. I've missed a couple of bites. There we are. I definitely like watching it go down and grabbing it on the way down. And they're a nice stamp of skimmer, these. Oh, geez. It's going to be taking my time as I've lost so many fish today. I'm really worried about losing them. It doesn't make sense. It's touch wood, I haven't lost any fish from this line yet, and they're the same elastic and the same size hook that I've been losing them on before, so I don't really know what's going on. I can't see anything in the sunlight. She's going some. I can't see how much elastic is that in the sun or anything. It's right in front of my face. But judging by the way this fish feels, it's like far locked, or it's quite a nice skimmer. It was a nice one. Nice to turn my camera on and see something. So bite. That'll be my 5th one of them now. First one was a little bit bigger, and one of them's been a little bit smaller, so they're averaging sort of that stamp, which is, you know, well nice stamp. Slime off by the way. So there's, you know, make sure you get all the slime off before you go back out there, so you don't want to risk not getting a bite because you've got slime on there. I don't know what I've got weight wise because I really haven't keeping track of what's been going on. Not other people catching as well. I'm catching on my own. Peg 36, which is one of the regular framing pegs on there, he's catching. There's his catching to my left on peg 4. He's the only one down that bank really catching. Yeah, they were catching on that bank earlier, but now they've all stopped except obviously Des has got something cracked with a roach. Fished harder than I thought it was going to fish. I pleasure fished up here yesterday and I caught quite well. Sort of one peg to the left of where Des is today on peg 5 I was. And I thought it was going to be alright, we'll catch a few today because, you know, weather's been mild again last night and another day, another sort of settled day of weather. You think the fishing gets better and better, but it quite been, I feel like it's fished quite as well as it did yesterday. But then when you pleasure fishing, it always feels like it's better because, you know, less people on it, less bait going in. There were pleasure anglers around me, but they were fishing the feeder and they just weren't competing for my fish. They were fishing for the fish up the island. I was fishing for the fish on the pole line, so I had them all to myself. So again, you get a false reading of how good it is because when everybody's putting bait in on the pole line, all of a sudden you're splitting the fish up. These two guys here on 30, 35 and 36 are looking like they've got a few fish. I've seen a lot of fish getting netted from them. So, you know, I don't know where I am. I've got no idea where I am. Obviously these nice bream are going to help. But I've lost 4 or 5 of that stamp today, which is very frustrating. But I thought I'll put the camera on because there's a chance of you seeing me catch a skimmer there. Won't get a bite this pot, I'll put a little bit more bait in, and if that doesn't work then I'll leave it a rest and go out on the other line straight in front of me where I was also catching some nice skimmers before the sun got in the way. Maybe, I mean, I might be getting ahead of myself, but maybe we can start putting a string of skimmers together and mount some sort of attack on the framing places. But a long way to go yet. A lot can happen. I can't believe I'm going to keep catching at the rate I have been catching at on this line. Not when you compare, not when you think that for the rest of the day it's been rubbish. There he is again, he's in again. I mean, what I've caught in the last 5 puts down on this line is probably the same weight as I've had in, because I've had all day. Ridiculous. I can only assume that there's just a few fish sitting there. They've been there all along because I haven't put enough bait in to have drawn that many fish. Again, I can't see what I'm doing because of the sunshine. Slightly smaller stamp this time. Maybe put a bit more feed in because he's a bit smaller. So I'm going to carry on doing that. Thought I'd give you an update. I'll give you more updates later as we go. 20 past 2 now, guys. We're fishing until 20 past 4. We've got 2 hours left. Since I last spoke to you, I've just continued catching these skimmers steadily down to this right hand side. The stamp hasn't been quite as much big as it was, but they're still there. definitely still there. Just put a couple of feeds in on my original line out long because I keep thinking I can't keep catching them down here forever like this, but at the moment it appears like I can. So I'm just going to keep sticking at it and see how we get on. It's getting harder to see the float now because the wind's got up and there's a bit of chop on it, a bit more chop on it than there was earlier. But it's still going under. Sorry if I'm sound like I'm straining. It is hard work holding 14 metres of pole when you can't get it over your knee, so I am supporting the weight of the pole a lot more than I would normally because I'm fishing out the right hand side of my platform. Don't know if you're picking this up, doubt you are on the tripod cam because I think he's been set up a bit more to the left. It's not fast and furious, it's just steady, which is, you know, as good as it's been getting today really. Nice little run of fish. I feel like it's put me back in contention now. If I can just keep catching well, maybe I'll be able to get in the frame at the end of the day. Because they have been a nice stamper skimmers, the sort of stamper skimmers everybody else was catching when I wasn't. Lift bite there, should have struck at that probably. Oh, I missed him. Should have stuck at the lift rather than waiting for the dip. Think, no? A bit more feeding with this one. Keep the cameras running for a bit. I'll just edit out any boring bits, or most of it. See if I can get a couple of a couple of fish being caught on the camera would be nice. I just want to rest because I don't have to put any bait on it to rest it. Just leave it. He's had it. Definitely an element of them having this on the drop today. Important to get on the drop rig. It's massive. Throw it in so it makes a nice plop. It makes everybody else think you're catching bigger fish than you are. Took a bit of time, didn't it, that one? A bit of time, but he's worth waiting for. This one I think he's pulling back quite a bit, so I'm hoping he's one of the better ones. He's feeling like a better one. I've got him in a bit close. He's keeping plenty of elastic out and got a good account for himself in. So I really want to get him out. This is definitely a better fish. He's not foul hooked. I ain't foul hooked many skimmers today. Make sure the heron doesn't put in a surprise appearance and try and steer him off the hook for me. He's keeping his head down this one. I'm starting to wonder where he is from. Oh, that's a really nice one. He's a really nice one. What you say, Des? It is solid. I don't know what's happened, but it's solid. I was going to come off that line. Des is shouting at me. Des ship's shouting at me saying your line is solid. I said, well, it is solid all of a sudden. I was going to come off this line, but I feel like I can now. I'll give it another go, aren't I, really? Might be why it went a bit quiet if he was in the swim. If his mates are in there. There we go. Nice positive indication. And a decent fish, I think. Yeah, nice decent fish. Just trying to slowly swing the pole around, get it on the roller so I can. So I can let the roller take weight of the pole. Swing him in another one. How long we got left? Not sure how long we've got left now, guys. Just put the camera off. We've got like half an hour or so. Just starting another line up down here to my left. I had a couple of small skimmers on it. The rain's come and I can't put my phone away. The rain's just come out of nowhere, so I had to run around covering everything up. It weren't supposed to rain at all today. Don't seem to catch anything decent on this line.